Uh, Hello everyone. Good evening. Am I audible?
Good evening, sir. Yes, you're audible, sir.
Okay. So, okay, you may not know me, but I will be your science teacher for the rest of the semester. My name is Sir John Israel T. Archaga, and you may address me in any way. For example, Sir Archaga, Sir John, or Sir Israel. As long as you address me respectfully, it's fine with me. Either way you want me to call. Either way you want me to call. You want to call me, I mean. Okay, so before we start now, let's have a little bit of prayer first, okay? Because knowledge without faith and prayer is, I believe, is obsolete. Okay, so let's put our presence in the Holy Lord for at the moment.
I'm so blessed, my Lord, I can see you in all the lovely things so fine and true. I see you in the beauty of the flowers and the rain. I see you between the lines of a sweet refrain. I'm so blessed, my Lord, I can see you. Even when I'm lonely and in pain, I see you in the beauty of the stars at night. I see you in my life, I feel alright. I see you, Lord, in sorrow and in happiness. I see you in the glory of sweet success. I see you, Lord, every hour, every day. I can see you, Lord, whenever I pray. I'm so blessed, my Lord, I can see you in the smile of a baby, sweet and true. I can see you in the eyes of my very best friends. I see you in these bonds, just like your love that never ends. I see you, Lord, in sorrow and in happiness. I see you in the glory of sweet success. I see you, Lord, every hour, every day. I can see you, Lord, whenever I pray. I see you, Lord, in sorrow and in happiness. I see you with the glory of sweet success. I see you, Lord, every hour, every day. I can see you, Lord, whenever I pray. I pray. I can see you, Lord, whenever I pray. I see you, Lord.
Okay, with the prayer finished, of course, before we formally start our classes, I would like to say some things. Now, I would like to ground my rules. Rule number one is that every single one of you should, of course, respect each other, because learning without respect is just as obsolete. Okay. Second, when someone is speaking at the front, you always gotta pay attention to the person that is speaking, because try and put yourself in that same situation where no one is listening to you. You will also feel bad, would you? Okay, so that's the second rule. Third rule is to, of course, have fun in this class, because if you are learning without having fun, then you will find it very difficult to learn anything at all. And don't you worry about that, because I will be helping you in finding joy when it comes to learning the subject, which is science. Because science is fascinating, science is very broad, and science is ever expanding. It never really ends. You can never really learn everything in science, and that is why I'm here to be able to teach you things that you don't know. Okay? So that will be all. Remember, respect each other. When someone is speaking at the front, always pay attention and have fun when learning the subject. Okay? Am I clear? Okay, so I'll
Yes,
take.
sir.
Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Thank you, Surgeon Well, Mr. Okay, so our first topic for this semester will be all about a life cycle of a star. Now, have you ever wondered once in your life, does stars have a childhood? Like, does a star start from being a baby? And does a star also grow into adulthood and being a grandpa or something? Have you ever wondered that? Because before, when I was still in high school, I haven't really thought about it that much. Like, I didn't really think that stars have childhood or like cycles to begin with. Like, I just firmly believe that stars are born out of nowhere, which is very ridiculous to think about because everything has an origin, right? And so I started to listen into a science documentary about a life cycle of a star, stumbled upon it randomly, and it fascinated me because it really sets the scale of these things and compared to us human beings. These things can live up to trillions upon trillions of years, and their cycles can last up to billions and billions of years, which is very mind blowing to think about. Like, the first time I heard about this was like, oh, what? Like, really? And I am here at this point in time to also blow your mind away, okay? Like, to fill you, brim you with knowledge about stars and something. Okay, so bear with me because this is going to be a really in-depth diving of this topic. Okay, so let's begin. Learning objectives will be explain how our stars are formed and their life cycle, describe the different stages of a star's lifespan, and explain how the mass in a star affects the star's lifespan. Okay, so sa kani nga subject, sa kani nga topic na turon, like basically makabaw mo nga nganong napurma ang stars, unsa ang ilang stages, ug giunsa pagkaapekto sa kadak-on sa star ang ilang kadugayon mabuhi. Okay, so very interesting. And at the same time, you will also learn if a star is eligible to become a neutron star or a black hole, which will be tackled later in the subject. Okay, so bear with me because this is going to be a very fun ride, I believe. Okay, so listen well because I know you're gonna love this. So let's begin with the definitions of a star. So, stars are immense, luminous spheres of extremely hot gases. Right? So, kani mga star, dili ra din sila mga kuan day, dili ra din sila mga tuldok day sa kuan sa sky. No. Up close, these are very luminous spheres, meaning mga circle. Right? Like magtuo kita nga, from afar, magtuo kita nga dots ra gid mga stars. But when you come close to it, it actually looks very similar to this. Very similar to a planet, but much bigger. And they are extremely, extremely hot. And although they shine brilliantly, they are not eternal. Right? So, kaning mga stars, like us humans, mga matay po ni sila. Napo ni sila end. However, ang ilang end is, basically out of our reach. Like I said ganina, maglast ni sila mga billions upon billions of years. Like, of course, long dead datana, right? So, di kita makakuan nga, makaabot ta ka ng time nga mamatay ang star. No, but they are not eternal. They are not immortals. They also die. So, these stars pass through various stages known as the life cycle of a star. And mao na ang atoang makita later on, ma-learn na to. Okay? So remember, stars are extremely immense luminous spheres of extremely hot gases. Okay? Dili ra ni sila mga tuldok sa skies, ingani ni sila. So what are the different stages in a star's life cycle? First is the stellar nebula. Okay, so what is a stellar nebula, sir? A stellar nebula is like this gas cloud sa kanang outer space. Like this gas cloud is filled with a lot of minerals, a lot of kanang mga elements that what makes up a star. Now, giunsa man pagka-form sa mga star through stellar nebula? Well, the answer is very simple. Ang mga stars silbi ma-form ni sila kung ang mga gases and dusts sa stellar nebula kay murag magka-interact with each other, right? And sa kaning pagka-interact nila with each other, silbi nanapod na yung mga muad na pod nga mga other gas and dust, right? And so magpadayon na sila o kanang stacked upon each other up to the point nga mo heavy na siya, like kanang bugat kayo to the point nga sa ilang kabugaton is kanang mo sila mag-form og kanang friction, like fission. Kabantay mo na nga kanang, for example, sa rock, right? Like kanang magrana mo, diba na mo spark? Yana, like due to the pressure and due to the kanang friction, right? So basically, ang mahitabo po dana sa mga stars, the way they're born, is like, mo to kong giingon nga, kaning mga gas and dusts, nga murag mag-stack against each other, murag sila kanang mag-form into a sphere or unsa ba na, and mo to kay murag, tungod sa ilang density, tungod sila kabugaton, is like, mura na sila kanang mag-slowly na sila kanang nag-friction nga na ang mga dusts and gases up to the point nga maborn ang usa ka star. Like that is how a star is born, due to the stellar nebula, like the gases and dusts which contains the minerals and elements that is required for a star to be born. So that is how stars are formed. So, in the next cycle, we have a new star. So this star, the core of a star, shines brilliantly due to the nuclear reactions taking place. Like I said earlier, di ba? Katong gases and dusts nga magkuan, it produces a reaction, nuclear reaction nga magbuhi aning mga stars. And ang time scale, ang scale of time ani nga kaning ma-produce ni sila is very very grand, is very dako kayo. Like dili ra na siya may tabo in 1 second. Like ang process ani is like maglast og years, like millions upon millions of years. Okay, so a new star is formed after that. And this process of nuclear fission is responsible for the formation of new stars. Like I said earlier, right? Ikaw man na mga reaction, ma-form dayon ang new star. So, next up. Oh, giant star naman lagi. Wait. So, a new star is formed and magdepende ang color ani nila sa ilahang temperature, which we'll be tackling later on. So, ang atuang star, which is ang sun, do you think nga bag-o pa ni siyang buhi? Like considering nga 8 billion years na ni siya nga nabuhi. Like, would you say nga new pa atong star, which is ang sun? Hello? Okay, so I'll answer it myself, okay? Ang atuang star, believe it or not, it's still in its young phase. Like, would you believe that? 8 billion years old. Wala pa natiguang. Like, goddamn. Right? Like, kung magunahon mo ba? Di pa natiguang ang 8 billion, sir. Like, mamatay naman ganing tao, ganing 80 years old. So, ano, star, 8 billion years old, di pa tiguang. That is what I was saying earlier. Like, the scale of these things is so enormous to the point where it doesn't really concern us anymore. And if makibawta nga yung ani nilang lifespan, it'll be like, oh my God, really? Really? Okay? So, ang kanina to ang star, which is ang sun, it's still in its very much young age. 8 billion years old, it's very relatively young for a star. Now, when billions upon billions of years passes, ang kaning star na to, ang kaning mga star, like, napo ni sila ilang kaugalingong life. Like, right, press na to, napo ni sila kaugalingong life. Ako na ang giingon nimo. Ang kaning mga stars, na ni sila ilang kaugalingon pong mga energy. Okay? Yang kaning energy nila, kay tungod dugay man kani sila mga matay, as time goes by, ang ilang energy magkanam-anam puna og ka exhaust. Right? Like, para sa ginatog yun, like, if matiguang ta, our energy also ceases to be sustainable in the long run. Mao na nga matiguang ta, like, we kanang gradually become slower, for our body to be able to produce more energy, like kana makakonserve ta kaugaling energy ngani pa sa stars. Like, in billions of years from now, ang atong sun matiguang po na. And unsa man ang way nga matiguang ni siya, sir? Like, unsa ni pagkatiguang? Believe it or not, ang sun or any stars in particular, matiguang ni sila by expanding themselves. Like, if ilang i-expand ilang kaugalingon, like naani sila silbi ka na mo process nga i-undergo, like when it comes to becoming an older type of star, which is a red giant star. Okay, so nganong mudako man ni sila, sir? Like ngano man silbi when they expand their size, meaning ang concentration sa paggamit silang energy deep within their cores is like murag ma-minimize siya. Like, if compacted kayo ang usa ka star, like kanang sa ilang core, naman na sila core nga gamay pod, silbi if kanang compressed kanilang core, naggamit na og daghan kayong energy from the star itself. And so, ang coping mechanism ng star is expand iyang kaugalingon gradually. It also expanding its core aron dili na concentrated ang energy didto ra sa iyang core. Sabi nga na. So, let's move on. Red giant. During the final stages of its lifetime, a star will expand, cool, and change color, eventually becoming a red giant. Now, let's ask, why does a star become a red giant? Let's ask Google. Nganong ma-expand ba ng mga stars into becoming a red giant? Well, look at this. So a red giant forms after a star has run out of hydrogen fuel, matong ingon energy, and has begun the process of dying. Like, a star maintains its own stability through a fine balance between its own gravity, which holds it together, and the outwards pressure from ongoing thermonuclear fusion processes taking place at its core. So ako tawag giingon ganina is basically a simplification of its process ng anong red giant siya. Like, it expands itself to minimize the murag silbi gravitational push sa kanang sa core, and ang iyahang silbi thermonuclear fissions. Like, if modako siya, meaning its gravity will also expand, right? And ang kaning core mo expand po ni siya. Like, that's basically how it goes. Like, well, a star maintains its stability through a fine balance between its own gravity, which holds it together, and the outwards pressure from ongoing taking place at its core. Katong akong giingon ninyo ganina, nga kumudako siya, meaning ma-minimize ang force nga na-exert sa core, right? Like, ma-minimize ang energy nga mayu sa core, ma-expand po ang core in itself. So that's basically it. It's very simple. Like, modako ang red giant kay para ma-minimize ang ilang pag-usage sa energy. Mas less concentrated ang ilang usage sa energy. Now, planetary nebula. As a smaller star begins to cool down and lose its glow, it will eventually go through the planetary nebula stage. Like, ang kanay siya silbi, kanay mga nebula is something i-excrete, ipagawas sa star after mahimo siya red giant. Now, after mahimo red giant sa star, what do you think will happen? Well, di ba nang-expand siya? No. This stage, mogamay na pud siya. I know, very crazy, right? Like, it's very crazy. Like, sa kaning point, na-exhaust na gid ni ug maayo gyud sa star ang iyahang energy reserves. And mao ni nga mo kuan ni pud na siya mo shrink na ni iyahang kuan, gamay na kayo ang iyahang hydrogen nga gipangkuan, iyang thermonuclear fissions. Like, dili na kay siya efficient nga maka-process ana. Mo na mogamay na gina siya. Like, hasta yung core mogamay, ang iyang size mogamay as time goes by. Billions of years mogamay na siya. And yung kaning planetary nebula, silbi mao ni ang kanang mga dusts nga i-excrete sa white dwarf, which is going to be next. White dwarf. So man siya, white dwarfs are the dense, hot remains of stars that have already perished. These remnants from when a star has depleted its fuel and releases gases into the surrounding space. And these gases were the planetary nebula. So man siya kanang mahumag red giant, man ni siya mahimo ni siya gamay, like mo crush into itself na ang red giant. Like, due to its own weight, mo crush ni siya siyang kaugalingon, forming this white dwarf nga gamay na lang gid kay remains from its core and its energy reserve. Okay, so next, let's see if different colors means different hotness when it comes to stars. Okay? So let's start. From the hottest, let's begin with a blue star. So a blue star are stars that can reach up to 3 or 4 times the size of our sun, and is apparently so hot that it appears blue to our eyes. Like kabantay mo na sa night skies, like makabantay mo na nga na different colors of stars. Makita mo blue, like that's the hottest type of star there is. That's the hottest color of a star. These stars are also the biggest when it comes to the star family. And these stars are usually good candidates for supernova. Like kanang a supernova is like kanang ang sun or ang star is kanang mamatay. Padong na mamatay. And instead of kanang pareha sa atong sun na in the future mo red giant yamoto kay mo collapse into being a white dwarf, ang kaning mga stars nga 3 times much bigger than the sun or more is mo undergo ni sila og supernova. Right? Like kanang mo buto ni sila. Pang! Releasing very deadly elements, and of course the force kusog istanan to the point nga maka feel ta og kanang cosmic ripple in the outer space, like makakuan gyud na ang mga NASA na nga naay kanang murag silbi wave of kanang murag force. And kani sila, when they go supernova, they either become a nebula star or neutron star, or a black hole. Okay, so ato nang i-dive deeper later nganong mahimo na sila ingon ana. Pero kani sila blue stars man sila kanang usually makuan kanang dagko kayo, like moboto sila na sila capability nga mag supernova, and mapurma sila black hole, like basically like simple na kayo. Mani sila blue stars. Now white star. White stars are a type of spectral type A or F having a moderate surface temperature and a white or yellowish color. These stars are a little bit hotter and even bigger than the stars that are like our own, which is the sun. So, kaning white stars, basically, another type of star na could be bigger or could be smaller than the sun, but is definitely much hotter than the sun. Now kaning ma-fall into this category pud ang mga white dwarf. Ngano man kay mga white dwarf is like silbi final final moments, like final hurrah na nila ang kanang ilang kaugaling existence nila. So silbi sa kaning ilang final ilan na nang i-use og maayo ang ilahang fuel nga na bilin. Mao na nga extremely hot kayo na ang mga white dwarf pud in compared to the red giants. Next up, we have the yellow stars, which are a G-type main sequence star, also often and imprecisely called a yellow dwarf or G-star. Is a main sequence star, luminosity class V or spectral type G. Such a star has about 0.9 to 1.1 solar masses and an effective temperature between 5,300 and 6,000 Kelvin. So, an example of this is our own star in our own solar system, which is the sun. Like, silbi less hotter ni sila, like the colder counterparts of the white and blue stars. And finally, red stars. So, any stars with a low surface temperature and a reddish color as a red giant or a red dwarf. So man sila mga red stars, no? These stars are the coolest among the colors of the stars, as most of these are on the last phase of their star cycle, or dwarfs, right? So, in simpler terms, kanay mga red dwarfs, man sila pinaka gamay og energy nga ma-exercise, like ma-expound nila. Mano sila pinakagamay og energy, and either dying or mga stars na sila nga mga like the lesser stars, like the smaller stars, dwarfs as you may call it. So remember, blue hottest, white next, yellow next, then the red. Okay, very simple, very easy to understand. Now, let's dive into the fate of the stars that are much bigger than our sun. Mga tawag ingon ganina ato mga blue stars, right? So unsa may tabo di ani mga stars di nga mga mas dagko, no? Like unsa man. Ako nang na-mention ganina nga nadyo uban nga dili sila mo undergo og katong same cycles atong sun. Nga mo red giant, then mao to mahimong white dwarf. Now let's dive deeper into that. So a neutron star is a celestial object of very small ranges, typically 18 miles. So gamay kini siya. Silbi mura ra ni siya usa ka city kadakon, which is of course dako gyapon to say the least. But when it comes to the scale, grander scale of the cosmos, kani siya is like gamay ra gid kayo, like mura na siya dot when we compare ni siya sa mga dagko kay nga mga celestial bodies. And neutron stars are thought to form by the gravitational collapse of the remnant of a massive star after a supernova explosion, right? So mo to nga kung ang usa ka star kay capable of undergoing a supernova, dili ra ni siya mobalik into becoming a white dwarf. Ngano man kay it's either tungod sa ilang kadako kay maka-form sila og black hole like after sa ilahang kanang pagka supernova, kay ang kanang usa ka point kana explode sila is like dense kay na, like super dense, like as in super dense to the point nga magpull na siya og mga objects nga near ana niya. Or if dili siya big enough, mahimo ra ni siya neutron star, which is also still very dense, pero silbi mo ra ni sila mga failed black holes, like close to being a black hole but not enough to become one. So that is neutron stars. So neutron stars, to give you a firm grasp of how heavy these objects are, let's see kung unsa ni siya ka bugat. Neutron star, wait. In tons. So, huna-huna ay, kita ninyo? Neutron star density is around 10 to the power of 17. Do you realize that? Like, sa iyang kagamay, like let's just say kuan, like para sa kadako sa usa ka city, right? Ang usa ka city normally like pila rin siya ka tons, right? Like kana mga let's just say 100 ana, or like 200, 300, 500. Pero tanaw ang neutron star. Look at this. A thimbleful, mind you, a thimbleful, meaning what unsa may kuan ani thimble, like usa ka tablespoon of a neutron star weighs around 100 million tons. Like, can you imagine that? Like, in 1 tablespoon, 100 million ka-elephants ang kabukaton. Like, could you imagine how dense that thing is? That is why most often this neutron star is the most is often called the densest object in the outer space relative to its size. Kaya tanaw, like imagine na gid sa kabugat ang usa ka butang, para ang usa ka kuan like 1 tablespoon of matter niya is 100 million tons. Now imagine usa ka bugat kung daghan kayo, like ang iyahang kaugalingon yung size in its entirety. It's crazy to think about. That is why astronomy, space is so fascinating, because not yung mga stuffs gid nga di kita makasabot and phenomenal kayo nga mga things nga nag-exist gyud sa outer space. Like, tawag ito. Imagine gyud like usa ka spoonful, 100 million tons. It's crazy. It's very crazy. Now let's move on to the final one, which is a black hole. Now, ang kanan mga primordial black holes, namatay two types of black holes, no? First one is the primordial, and the second one is a stellar black hole. Now, ang kanay mga primordial black hole is like nag-exist na ni sila after the Big Bang. Like, pagkauman sa Big Bang, bang, exist din sila. Ancient kani sila and very, very big. Like, to give you a scale of how big these things are, let me show you something. Look at this. Can you read it? Can you read it? Primordial. Scientists theorize that primordial black holes formed in the first second after the birth of the universe. In that moment, pockets of hot material may have been dense enough to form black holes. So man sila like sa pagbuto sa Big Bang na napoy lang mga reactions nga nag-take place which in turn nag-produce ani nga mga black hole. Right? Ang kaning mga black hole, the same po ni sila nag-exist po after the Big Bang, basically. Like, as old as the Big Bang itself. And tanawa, in that moment, pockets of hot material may have been dense enough to form black holes, potentially with masses ranging from 100 times less than a paperclip. Imagine, gamay kayo, like very, very gamay. Or to 100 times more than the sun. Like, imagine how big our sun is times 100,000. Like, that's just big. That's very, very big, in fact. Like, if you take a look at it, pila ka sun ang ma-fit nimo sa usa ka black hole, and dako kayo nga tong sun. Like, it's really crazy to think about if you really try and considering the scale of the cosmos. Mabalik to dire. Stellar black holes, however, are formed when the center of a very massive star collapses in upon itself, which is katong ako giingon ganina nga supernova, right? This collapse, like I said, this collapse causes a supernova of an exploding star that blasts part of the star into space. A black hole is a place in space where gravity pulls so much that even light cannot get out. Now, kaya ba mamuon sa kapaspas ang light, right? Like, imagine, the light of the sun reaches Earth in just about 8 minutes. Like, kaya ba kaon sa kalayo ang sun's Earth? It's very crazy. It's very mind-blowing to even think about. And, that considering, do you know how strong something should be to be able to, yeet, like, grab light in itself and not allow it to escape with how fast light is? That something must be very, 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 very dense to the point nga magka-pull siya og bisag unsa nga object in its vicinity. And that is what a black hole is. Now, ang kaning black hole, invisible ni siya. Like, ang kaning silbi, kaning yung mga makita dire. Like, kaning mga, like, iyahang kuan. Silbi, mo na ang mga debris from stars, from planets, nga gi-consume sa black hole. And as the black hole consumes planets and stars, it also expands its size. Like, imagine, like, just imagine how strong a black hole is to be able to grow while at the same time pull out to be able to pull things towards it, consume it, and become bigger, and in turn consume more uh, cosmic materials, cosmic entities. Do you know that our galaxy revolves around a black hole? No. Like, it's very crazy. Like, nagtuo ra ta nga atong kaugalingong solar system, nagtuyok ra ta sa atong kaugalingong solar system. But in fact, ang atuang star, mag-revolve po ni siya o kanang usapod ka mas bigger niya nga celestial object. And that bigger celestial object nga nag-revolve ang sun around, mag-revolve na po na siya into another bigger object, which could be a black hole or anything. And ang kana na pong bigger object nga nag-revolve ang katong nag-revolve ang sun around, mag-revolve na po na siya into a much bigger celestial object, and so on and so forth. And what is in the middle of a galaxy? That's right, a black hole. As a very massive black hole that allows for it to be orbited by numerous stars. And sa kanang pag-orbit nila, sa mga stars, silbi ang black hole, kanon po na niya, slowly ang kanang mga nag-orbit niya, sa muta kanang mga close, and mubig na po na siya. Like ang gingon ganina, mubig siya, and as it goes big, dako na po diyang gravitational pull. And here's a very fun fact. As these black holes gradually become bigger as time goes by, meaning magka-attract po ni sila og laing mga black holes. Right? So, naigi-theorize ang mga scientists nga the Milky Way black hole will become so big that it gradually attracts the force of another black hole in which a galaxy revolves around. So, these galaxies magka-form ni sila, like kanang magkasagol ni sila. Like, sa ilang pagkasagol, dili siya instant, of course. Like, slow man gid kay na ilahang forces, ilahang way kapag sa pag-move. Pero can you think about it nga, in a few billion years, ato ang galaxy is makig-merge with another galaxy. It's very crazy to think about, right? And this galaxy nga makig-merge sa ato ang galaxy is none other than the nearest galaxy called Andromeda Galaxy. And sa kani sila mag-form ang Milky Way ug Andromeda, meaning magsagol ang ilahang mga celestial objects nga gipossess. And dili man na mag-care ang mga black holes ana, because they are black holes, bruh. They are just there to exist, to pull things become bigger. Sa mga magkuan, and time goes by, of course, everything dies, but black holes lasts for a very, very long time, actually. Pero let me tell you something. Black holes are not eternal as well. Like, I know, shocking. Nagtuo ta nga dili ni sila mga matay, right? Pero mga matay po ni sila, albeit dugay kayo sa tanan. Okay? So remember, neutron stars are formed when a star that isn't big enough to become a black hole collapses on itself, and black holes are formed when a star that is big enough, that is eligible enough to become a black hole, collapses on itself and become one. That's basically it. So, did you guys at least learn anything, guys? Thank you. I hope you learned something today, something new with our topic for today. I really simplified everything down to its very core, and at the same time, also trying to captivate your attention towards how big and how grand the scale of the cosmos actually is. Right? And if you really, really think about it, like, our lives become insignificant when it comes to when we compare it to these massive objects. But you gotta remember, our lives are our own lives to live. It doesn't matter if how long we exist in this world. We are given enough time to at least enjoy life to its fullest, to live life. That is why don't kuan ayaw mo ka ng existential crisis mo nga, oh, in the kuan day kay kuan like kanang maguba ang sun, oh no, like di na ko makaabot sa mga ngana. No. And I will not be as old, I will not be old enough or like live long enough to witness very amazing cosmic events. Like that's fine. Like our own lives here have its own merits. Like we aren't really dili na ta ka ng kinaraan sa una, and at the same time dili pa ta futuristic enough para mag-focus na lang ta sa atong kaugalingong survival, like mag travel sa into the galaxy. No, we have our own lives to live here, and I think the very essence of it is for us to enjoy it and not be worried about the most uh dili ta something that really doesn't concern us or involve us, right? Like these things, for example, like this topic, for example. But it's good to at least know how things work, right? Because knowledge is a weapon, like I said earlier, and of course, having fun while gaining knowledge also allows for you to move forward into gaining more knowledge, right? So I hope you learned something today, and I hope this knowledge of yours that you have gained today, sticks with you for the rest of the semester, because of course these will be a part of our coverage in our topics, in our exams in the near future. But don't worry, our exams won't be hard. It will be very easy because you will be applying your knowledge into it, and I wouldn't really put an exam that that isn't that didn't tackle our topics. Okay, so that would be all today, class. Thank you so much for being here and listening to my first discussion. I hope that in the future we will participate more, class, because participation is very important. It improves your self confidence and stuff. Okay, so thank you very much, and have a good evening, guys. Goodbye. You may now be dismissed.